Hey everyone, Thornton Smash here, resident Apex Predator, and today, December 1st, the new Holiday Bash mode has come out. Now, I got a chance to mess around with it for about 2 to 3 hours, and I played about 14 games, and I only lost around 2. So I wanted to make this video to kind of give you some tips and tricks on how you can win most of your games in this new event mode. It's a ton of fun, but there is a little bit more strategy than just the normal battle royale mode. It's much more like team death mode. So let's go ahead. I'm going to show you some of the clips, some of the highlights, and hopefully you can take away from this video some tips and tricks on how to win the game. Now, the first thing that you want to go over is where to land when you launch into the game. You don't necessarily want to go right to the train right away. You kind of want to get at least one of your teammates to have high ground. That's usually me when I play. I usually sit with the hemlock, and I kind of pick off the enemy team, allowing my teammates to push the train when it needs to be captured. You can kind of get a visual idea of where other players on the map are. Since there's only 2 other teams, you want to pinpoint where they are and call them out to your teammates, allowing your teammates to make that push when it's time to do so. It really helps a ton. Now, each legend in this game mode is going to have a specific loadout that is stuck with the character for the day. They do rotate, but if you want to play up close, make sure to pick a legend with the R99 or the Volt. If you want to cover the high ground like I do, go ahead and pick a mid-range character, someone using the Hemlock, the G7, the Longbow, or the Triple Take, so that you can give callouts to your teammates and make sure to alleviate some of the pressure on them. I'm going to go ahead and show right here some highlights of how to cover the high ground until we go into our next tip. He's weak.
Oh, that guy killed me? Oh, shoot.
You won!
Hey.
Funky. Funky fresh. First game of the season. Caustic's down.
Over.
Got the other one.
Over.
GG's. Good job, guys. That was easy. I'm gonna stay off the train. Now, the next tip and trick comes hand in hand with covering the high ground, and that's dealing as much damage as possible to the enemies, because enemies in this game mode have infinite heals, but if you can keep popping off their shields and distracting them, it allows your teammates who are on the ground to get closer to cover the objectives that they're trying to do. It allows them to set up gas traps if you have a Caustic. It allows fences if you have a Watson. It just allows for a lot more maneuverability when you're taking a lot of the pressure off your teammates and causing the enemies headaches and frustrations by continually depleting them and making it so that they cannot move up to do the objectives that they want to do. Now, keeping focused fire off your teammates doesn't have to be only done from high ground. You can be on the train or in different positions around it. Your main objective here is basically do not let the other team get to the train if you're near it, and really cause them as much, like I said, frustration to getting to that train. Prevent them at all costs from getting as close to you as possible. Keeping enemies off you is absolutely critical, and also really throwing a wrench in whatever plans and uncoordinating them is the goal here. Now, it's not, like I said, just from high ground. You also want to keep them off of the rear of the train. I find the best place to hold isn't the front, because a lot of people, for whatever reason, really like to hold the front of the train. But if you move your teammates onto the back of the train, and you set up some traps there, you can cover the left and the right side of the train and really make sure that you can give callouts when someone's moving up, which side, and it really allows you to focus fire and let your teammates really know what's going to be going on in this game mode. Going into covering the train even more, you typically don't want to be the first ones on the train. Me and my teammates preferably don't like to do that unless we have a Caustic, and even then, I like to let the 2 other teams get there first, contest each other a little bit, weaken, and then move in for that killer blow. That helps a ton, because there's only 2 teams you have to worry about. You can essentially be the third party person every single match. I'm going to go ahead and show you some matches where we covered the rear of the train and really kept the enemies off to give you a better idea, and then we'll once again jump into the next tip. Next, I'm sorry, I love you. They're fighting on the other side. Healing up. The next tip is that you really need to trust your teammates, and you need to go in with a squad that you can communicate and you have an idea of how you're going to run the match. Because you're going to have a lot of frustrating times if you just try to solo queue this. And I die all the time, and I know that if I go down in a team deathmatch mode like this, my teammates are more than capable of continuing to run the field without me. Those are basically going to be my tips today on how to win the game. You want to have high ground. You want to distract the enemies with that high ground or from the rear of the train. And you want to make sure you play with teammates that you can trust to help you and communicate with you during the match. I hope you found this video helpful. And if you like it, please drop a like and subscribe, as it helps my channel out a ton. Now, if you ever want to play games, all these matches I did with open lobbies. So feel free to drop anytime in on Twitch at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and I can help you get wins or play whatever game mode you want. I just enjoy playing Apex. Until next time, Legends, keep slaying in the Outlands, and I'll see you out there. Are these guys teaming? They're not even going for the train. They're just shooting at me. Dude! You have a train to catch. Like, bro, hey Erica, good to see you. Like, dude, the guy is